Well, hey there, it's Jen.
And Elka, and welcome back to another one of our coaching calls, so to speak, in the way that we are telling you about what we've done in our lives in order to have a different way of living. And this is incredibly important for you as a mom, because I was a mom back in the day, back in 2007, when I first started my e-commerce business on Zazzle, which is a print-on-demand platform. And it never occurred to me that I was making such an important decision back then. I just wanted to make some money and I wanted to do a side hustle. And I actually started like 30 side hustles. I sold my artwork. I sold my photography. I wrote articles. I filled out surveys. I tried Etsy. I tried, back then there wasn't any Shopify, but there was like eBay. And then I came across print on demand and I tried Cafe Press, Redbubble, Society 6. And back then there were even a couple others that are just like, who knows where they are now. But what happened was that I was looking at it from the wrong approach. I was just desperate to make some money because I quit my job and it was a six-figure job back then, but I really wanted to stay home with this girl who at the time was a lot younger and really needed me to be home. And I also have twin boys, and the three kids were just like being carted off to different babysitters, and it was like money is not as important as family, and money is not as important as a better lifestyle, memories, time that you can never get back. And I think that's when I realized how important that decision was when I made that back in the day, when I said, I think Zazzle's the way that I'm going to go and do this, because I was trying all these different things, but I was never looking at the long term. And I think that's such an important aspect. I wanted to make the money, but I didn't think, well, should I be doing this like even 5 years from when I started, or 10 years? And now it's almost been, well, gosh, it's what are we at now? 17 years of being on the Zazzle platform. And that seems incredibly crazy for something that's e-commerce, that's online shopping, where you would have thought that it came and went, right, as a way to make money. And so we want you to pay attention here to just getting some more information on how this might work for you, because it definitely worked for me. Oh my gosh, it was life changing. I didn't have any issues during COVID. I stayed home with my kids. I never went back to a job again. So even like I from 2007 onwards, I've been making money on the Zazzle platform, and it's been what I have used as my primary source of income until I started making some courses, which means that I got a little bit of extra income. But Jen and I, we still have our Zazzle businesses online right now, and we make sales every single day. And because of that, that means that we get paid royalties every single month. And that is what has helped me through so many different stages as a mom. Um, and I don't even know where to begin, because it initially helped me stay home and have those times so I could take them to the soccer game. I could pick them up for lunch and bring them home and walk them back and forth to school. I could make it less stressful for them to get to school because they didn't have to be sent to a daycare or sent to a babysitter. And then it just kept snowballing from there. First of all, I made my income back, but then I also started realizing I can level up my status of wealth, and also that my kids can learn about this. So all of them got taught how to make a store on the Zazzle platform. And because of that, Jen is now here coaching with me and training people who want to make money on the platform because she's done so well. And it's now her livelihood. And we can get into that as well. If you want to be a mom and have some fun and go on holidays for 10 years to Spain, you can do that too, because that's what Jen did. But yeah, I just think that if you're going to pick something, there's so much noise out there. Everything is like, you can make money doing this, you can make money doing this, you can make money doing this. But let's pick something that works, that you can bring from a side hustle, that actually is possible to do as a side hustle with the limited amount of time that you have when you have a young family, that you can actually build and build on top, like keep growing after you build the foundation in order to actually bring it to like a full-time 5 and 6 figure profit payout income for yourself, because that's what we help people do. And that's what I experienced when I was a mom. And on top of everything else, and this is something that we don't share very often, but I'm going to say it here. In 2015, my husband passed away very suddenly. And if I wouldn't have been making almost $200,000 a year take home from the platform for my Zazzle shops at that time, I would have been sunk. Like that, I would have not been able to keep my house. I wouldn't have been able, I was not financially ready for that huge shock because he passed away really early. And I had a young family. And all of a sudden, like if I wasn't earning that money, even though I was a stay-at-home mom, then I would have been like everything would be a lot different than it is now. Instead, I have no debt. I own my own house. My kids own their own houses because they got paid for by my Zazzle earnings, and they don't have any debt. They went to a college, university, and there is no debt there. And that, as a mom, makes me feel really good that I was able to do all of that for my kids and give them the leg up in their life. And also, if this is, heaven forbid, something happens to me, they get to inherit my Zazzle store because it's copyrighted material, and they get to continue to get the royalties from it. So all of that, holy smokes, like all, like I didn't even stop talking for 10 minutes, or it's 5, but look at the boxes it ticked. And I think that hopefully is a wake-up call for you, but also how exciting that you can start something like this and it can last that long. It hasn't stopped yet. In fact, there's reports anywhere from $5 to $8 trillion a year will be spent shopping online using e-commerce. And by using the Zazzle platform as your business model and having Zazzle stores where you can sell things with print on demand, you are literally tapping into that $1 trillion market. And this is only by 2027. That's 2 years away. And so the fact that it's at the trillions, not even billions, means that you are in the right space to keep, like, to put your time and effort into this business. And if there's in any way that this, like, any of this resonated with you, let's talk. Let's watch some of our other videos. We're even going to talk some more here because I'm going to open the floor to Jen. But I think that as a mom, especially if you're like the head of the household, which, the guys, hopefully it's a combined effort, but moms in general have this huge weight on their shoulders to be responsible, and they want to do everything. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to earn the money. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to have a career. I wanted to be proud of something. But I also wanted to be home with my kids. I didn't want to ever miss out on that experience. And I'm so glad I did, because did do it that way. Because otherwise I would have just worked and traveled and made everybody else rich. But instead I made myself rich, and I kept the most treasured memories. I made those, and I now get to keep those. And that's super, super important to me. If that's important to you, let's see how this business can work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then I guess in terms of my own personal experience from that was that I was able to, although I was in my teenage years, still able to then create that relationship with my mom and have her be there whenever I needed and also give me the experience too. And looking at it, there's 2 points that I want to cover. First is that my mom was able to stay at home with myself and my brothers and to be with us, to raise us, and to give those us experiences, and to share those memories with us, and to take us to our volleyball games and our soccer games, and then to pick us up for lunch at school, or be there to support me when I was in high school, right? And my younger brothers, because they're 5 years younger, so they had a different experience where they were younger and they were able to then, I was a little bit more independent, but not as independent as I am now, obviously. But then the second part is that my mother, because her drive and ambition to find an online space to make money encouraged me to actually then create my own online business, because I was very lost in terms of my direction on what I wanted to do for a career. I was very much an introvert, still very much an introvert. It's the weirdest thing because we talk online all the time. And I'm thinking I'm very much more comfortable in front of a camera than I am in front of people speaking. And that has given me the opportunity then to create what I have now in terms of my Zazzle business, because she showed me that there were ways to make money online and to be not part of the normal, like take your university degree and spend 6 years studying, which my mom did, 8 years or 9 or however many it was, right? And then get an entry level job when you're like almost in your 30s, and then work your way up the corporate ladder, because she was like, well, when you're 17, 18 years old, you can make the decision yourself. If you don't enjoy what is offered out there, which is the norm, then make it something different. And so I was pushed into the world of business, which initially, actually, I went into business for university. And I was actually just frustrated that I couldn't, up level as fast as I wanted to, because I had to take all of the courses that were requisites for whatever course I actually really wanted to take, 3 years from now. And I said, well, what's the point of that? Because if I want to do something now, why am I not allowed to do that? And so Zazzle, and then just business in general, the platform allowed me to be independent and also learn the business skills that I needed to learn to make money on my own, right? And I think that's a big thing, first of all, as a stay-at-home mom, right? If you are a stay-at-home mom and you're looking after your young kids, and that's your goal, is that you want to stay at home and you want to cherish those memories, but then you're also teaching your children that there is another way to do things, right? And another way to make money, another way to live, another way to experience life. And I've just been fortunate enough and very privileged to say, hey, well, if I need to go to the dentist on a Monday morning at 10:30, I don't need to call anyone to say, can I please go to the dentist? I am able to do that. And it brings it down to all of those little basics in life that we're not traveling the world all the time, right? But those are luxuries that Zazzle has given us. But just in terms of your daily activities, you're able to make choices based on the fact that you are now the boss, right? And you created this business so that you have that flexibility. And as Elka mentioned, in terms of, her husband passing away, my father passing away, that was a big impact in our lives, where I was unable to work just because of what happened. And Zazzle was a platform that thankfully I had set up properly based on our 5 strategies that we teach our coaching clients now in our Profit by Design Academy coaching program. And we both, Elk and I, were able to take time off and still make money during that time, right? And I don't wish that on anybody. That's not something that we advocate or hope for, but just know that Zazzle gives you the time and the flexibility of saying, okay, if something happens in your life, then you have this business that is working for you while you're not actually working for it. And that brings us back to, stay-at-home moms, is that you are now able to experience those luxuries of staying at home, because if you are working for a 9-to-5 job, you've been given the luxury of the 8 or 9 months that you're allowed to take off. And now if you were to change your lifestyle, change the way that the finances came into your household, you're allowed to take as much time off as you want. Obviously still work, right? There's still a business aspect of things, but you don't have to answer to somebody else, and you're able to make those decisions based on the growing of your household and also what you cherish and value in terms of your priorities, right?
Yeah, and I think, nowadays there's more of this, like for us, when we talk about it, we're like, it means so much to us, because back in the day, that was not something like that was an opportunity for the moms and for kids. Nowadays, there's a little bit more opportunity, and it's more like, well, which one should I pick? Zazzle, Shopify, Etsy, Amazon merch, be an affiliate, do MRR. Like, so many different things are available, and they're coming at you. But I think, as you saw, even just with the multiple resale rights recently, that came and went because it's sleazy. And then before that was multi-level marketing, and that was sleazy. And like, it's just all a bunch of different things where it's not really a proper business, right? Zazzle is a proper business because it's a place where people go buy stuff. you post products for sale using their blanks, where you've added your own designs. They're your copyright. And because of that, Zazzle pays you a royalty. And Zazzle does everything else. So even if you now said, well, I should just go on Etsy and do that, or I should just have a Shopify store and get more commission. But we have so many people who are busy moms. They want to have time with their kids. They set up their Etsy store, and now they're going like, I've got to get off of Etsy. It's just too much. It's overwhelming. It's hard to make the money. And wow, Zazzle's just like, print on demand in a box. And because of, especially for the sellers like Jen and I, we saw that already a long time ago, that everything's done for you except for the hard part, which is the originality, which means that you've got to obviously bring designs onto the products that are going to be standing out so that you can create your own demand, and you have to know how to market. And that's what we teach. We teach you how to run a business, and we teach you how to scale, and we teach you how to make it consistent income. And we've done all of that we use that teaching because we've done all those things. We've scaled, we've been consistent, we've tested out when things weren't so great, and we just took time off, 2-3 years for that matter, and it still kept coming in, the money. And now that our clients have done what we've told them to do, they're actually also experiencing things in their life where they had to take some time off, like a health issue, or they just wanted to take some time off to do something else, like go and take a degree and do something, to travel or whatever. And all of a sudden they realize, hey, whatever Elke and Jen talked about, where you set it up and then it stays passive, it's true because it's still working for those clients. And I think that's a testament to how well we teach and how well we initially set up the training, because and what we learned from our own process of figuring Zazzle out. And because of that, we're the top client people who teach our clients. There is nobody else that teaches the way we teach. And if there is someone out there that's talking about Zazzle, they've actually been one of our students, and they're not really supposed to be doing a course. But the most important thing is that it works, and it gives you flexibility. And to start with, we make it so that you work 20 hours a week, a month. I keep saying a week, a month, right? If you want to work more, you can. But we've had several clients who have literally said, well, this is not going to work for me. I can't work more than 20 hours a week. I said it again, 20 hours a month. And that's 5 hours a week. Maybe I'll do it that way. 5 hours a week. And they go like, it can't be done. And I'm going like, yes, it can. And yes, maybe nowadays you have to do a little bit more in terms of some of the hoops that Zazzle asks us to jump through. But if you do it right and you don't waste time and you do just the things that need to be done in order to start selling, you can. Because even Jen and I nowadays, we barely work 4 hours a month, and it's still working for us because we've set it up. So even if all you do is you work a little harder at the beginning, then you want to aim for 20 hours a month. and then how easy would your life be if you only had to work 5 hours a week, in order to get the income that you want, so that you never have to go back to work, and that you can do whatever you need to do with your kids, your family, and you're building wealth and a legacy at the same time. That's what I love about it. And we've had people who have done it. We've also had people who haven't, because they're not very efficient, or they're procrastinators, or they're like us. It's like, oh, look at that shiny object. But if you rein yourself in and you just do the work, there's a very good chance that you're able to do the work it takes to get the progress, to start seeing how we can develop whatever you have as skill sets to leverage the Zazzle platform as best as possible, and start to get closer and closer to 5 and 6 figures of pure profit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that also being said, one of the reasons why we are on live today, and we are talking about stay-at-home moms and full-time side hustle and changing it into a full-time income, is that we are promoting our 2025 sales planning workshop for Zazzle. And so if you are a stay-at-home mom, or if you're not even a stay-at-home mom, if you're looking to create a side hustle and turn it into a full-time income, then you have to understand that it is a business, right? And I think also one of the big transitions getting to our sales planning workshop, because it's a necessary thing to create your business plan so that you understand the way things work and the way that you can make money, is that if you're transitioning from a 9-to-5 job where potentially, mostly, people are on like higher level than you are, and they're telling you what to do, right? You go in to your job and you have your certain tasks, and then once you finish those certain tasks, then your day is done, and then you don't have to think about it anymore until you come into the office the next day again, right? And so you have everything laid out on the table for you, right, in terms of what you need to do. And one of the biggest transitions, I think, for people who are in the corporate world or have a job, maybe not even in the corporate, but just a job in general, maybe you're working at the local, restaurant down the street or something like that, is that you have been told what to do, and that the transition for you to actually be accountable for your own business now is different and difficult for you to understand, right? It's a learning curve. And so in terms of understanding what you need, is sales planning is very important, right? You're becoming a business owner because you're actually in charge of your own income that comes in. And so you have to understand how to make that money, right?
Yes. And that's where it starts, is to, like, if you see it as an overview, then you'll start to understand what's involved and how, and then you'll be able to make some plans to get there. So the workshop for sales planning for 2025 is your first step, even if you're not in any of our training or courses. And maybe even if you haven't even figured out that Zazzle exists, but now that you've heard how much benefit I've received from that in my entire lifetime over the last, since 2007, when I decided to open up a store, then this is a great way to introduce you to what's involved and the whole platform. And then we can go from there and see if you want to work with us further.
Mm-hmm. So the link to join our 2025 sales planning workshop, which I'll just change the banner here because it is the link in the description. You can join and click on that link, and you'll be able to read everything about the workshop and what it includes, the dates and the times. There are replays available for everyone who, if you want to join, but you can't join live, unfortunately. Obviously, we always recommend that you do join live because that's where you get the most out of the whole event. But if you can't join live, there are replays available, and also replays, obviously, for people who did join live, so you can watch it again. And we will be going through everything that you need to know about how to plan your entire year out for 2025, because since you have decided to now come into the online space of retail, you have to understand that there are certain months that you have to plan in advance before posting your products for sale, right? You can't just post a product for sale today and expect it to sell tomorrow. There's some work that goes into it, especially because you have to offer certain things and serve your customers' needs, right? And understanding what that needs to be inside your store.
Yes. So come join us for the workshop and let's get down to business.
Yeah, very excited. So click the link in the description of this video, and we can't wait to see you in the workshop. All right. See you there. Okay, bye.